90% of stop losses sit in exactly three predictable spots on any chart. Institutions know all three. There's a single pattern, it's called a spring, that tells you exactly when they've finished exploiting yours. And by the end of this video, you're going to know how to spot it in under 2 seconds, how to confirm it with volume, how to trade the reversal that follows, and how to catch the exact opposite pattern institutions use to sell into your excitement at the top. This is a long one, and I'm not going to waste your time getting there, so let's start with the setup you already know without realizing it. You find a level. Price has bounced off it twice already. You buy, and you place your stop just a few points below the low, exactly like every trading course taught you to do. Price drops just far enough to hit your stop, and the second it does, it rips back up in the exact direction you originally wanted. You didn't lose because your analysis was wrong. You lost because your stop was sitting in the most predictable place on the entire chart, and someone with a lot more money than you knew exactly where that was. This isn't a conspiracy theory, it has a name, and it comes from a trading framework developed almost 100 years ago by a man named Richard Wyckoff. Before he turned 30, Wyckoff was already running one of the most respected trading operations on Wall Street, at a time when there was no SEC, no regulation to speak of, and the market was, quite literally, a battlefield between operators who moved size and the public who didn't know they were being moved against. What made Wyckoff different from every other trader of his era is that he didn't stop at making money. He spent years studying the tape, interviewing the largest operators of his time, and reverse engineering the exact footprints that big money leaves behind. What he produced wasn't a trading strategy. It was closer to a field manual for recognizing manipulation while it's happening, in real time, instead of understanding it only after your account has already paid for the lesson. Here's the part that changes everything about how you look at a chart from now on. When you see a stock sitting flat, boring, going nowhere for weeks, that's not dead price action. That's the most dangerous phase on the entire chart, because that's exactly when institutions are quietly building a position they cannot buy all at once without moving the market against themselves. Think about the actual mechanics for a second. If a fund needs to acquire, say, 2 million shares of a stock that only trades a few 100,000 shares a day, they physically cannot place that order at once. The moment they tried, the price would spike, they'd pay far more than they intended, and every algorithm on the exchange would detect the imbalance and front-run them. So instead, they do something almost invisible to the untrained eye. They build a range. They let price drift down just enough to trigger fear and panic selling from weak hands. They quietly absorb every share thrown at them. Then they let price bounce just enough to convince the crowd the bottom is in. They absorb the next wave of late buyers, and they repeat that cycle over and over for days or sometimes weeks until they've built the size they need. Wyckoff called this entire process accumulation, and he broke it down into phases so precise that traders are still using this exact framework today, nearly a century later. Phase 1 is preliminary support. This is the first moment large buyers begin stepping in after a prolonged decline, but they're not yet strong enough to actually stop the fall. You'll notice selling starting to slow down slightly, a small uptick in volume, but price still grinds to a new low shortly after. Almost nobody notices this phase happening live. It's the equivalent of the very first ripple on the water before anything visible breaks the surface. And if you can train your eye to catch it, you're already ahead of 90% of the people watching the same chart. Phase 2 is the point almost everyone misreads completely, and it's called the selling climax. This is maximum panic. Price drops hard, volume explodes, the candle is enormous, and to anyone watching live, it genuinely looks like the bottom is falling out of the world. This is the exact moment fear peaks and retail traders capitulate, selling at the worst possible price of the entire move. But stop and think about what that volume spike actually represents. It isn't panic selling overwhelming the market. It's panic selling being absorbed, on the other side of every single sell order, by buyers who have been waiting patiently for exactly this moment to arrive. The bigger and uglier the panic candle looks, the bigger the opportunity sitting on the other side of it. Phase 3 is the automatic rally. After the climax, price snaps back up sharply, and it feels like relief, like the danger has finally passed. Traders who miss the actual bottom often chase this rally hard, buying back in with renewed confidence. But here's the part that trips people up. This rally is not proof that a new uptrend has started. It's simply the natural bounce that occurs once selling pressure has been temporarily exhausted, and its high defines the upper boundary of the range that's about to form for the following days or weeks. Phase 4 is where the framework gets genuinely powerful, and it's called the secondary test. And hidden inside it is the spring I promised you at the start of this video. A spring happens when price drops back down and breaks below the low of the selling climax, triggering every single stop loss sitting just underneath that level, creating a sharp, ugly-looking breakdown that convinces the crowd the bottom has failed and a fresh leg down is starting. And then, almost immediately, price reverses violently back up into the range. That fake breakdown is not random. It's the single most efficient method institutions have to acquire the very last pocket of available supply, by frightening the last remaining weak hands into selling one final time, at the worst possible moment, right before the real move begins. Now let's actually walk through a number-based example so this isn't abstract. Picture a stock that's been declining for months, and it finally finds a floor around $50. It bounces to 54, drops back to 49 on heavier volume. That's your preliminary support starting to show. A few days later, it slams down to $45 on the single biggest volume day in months, the kind of candle that makes headlines. That's your selling climax. It snaps back up to 52 within a week. That's your automatic rally. And now you've got a defined range, roughly 45 on the low end, 52 on the high end. For the next 3 weeks, price chops around inside that range, testing the lower end a couple of times, each test on lighter volume than the climax, exactly what you'd expect if supply is drying up. Then one day, price breaks below 45 again, this time down to 43, sweeping every stop loss sitting below the climax low. And within 2 or 3 candles, it's back above 45, closing strong, on volume that's actually bigger than the breakdown candle itself. That's your spring, confirmed by the volume signature. The next real signal you're watching for is a break above 52, the automatic rally high, on strong volume. Wyckoff called that a sign of strength, and it's often the first genuinely reliable indication that markup, the real uptrend, has begun. Now stop for a second, because I want to address something before you assume this only applies to bottoms. Everything I just described has a mirror image, and understanding it might actually be more important because it's the pattern that catches people at the top, right when they're the most euphoric, the most confident, the most convinced the run is just getting started. It's called distribution, and it plays out in almost the exact reverse sequence. Instead of preliminary support, you get preliminary supply, the first signs that big sellers are starting to unload into strength, though not yet strong enough to stop the rally. Instead of a selling climax, you get a buying climax, an explosive, euphoric spike upward on enormous volume, the kind that gets a stock trending on financial news and social media, that feels like the beginning of something huge, but is very often institutions using that exact euphoria to sell their entire position into the buyers rushing in. Instead of an automatic rally, you get an automatic reaction, a sharp pullback after the euphoria fades. And instead of a spring, you get what's called an upthrust, a sharp, fake breakout above the range high, sweeping every short seller's stop loss and every breakout buyer's entry all at once, right before price reverses hard and rolls over into a real downtrend. If a spring is the pattern that hunts your stop loss at the bottom, an upthrust is the pattern that hunts your excitement at the top. And learning to recognize both is what actually separates someone who understands market structure from someone who's just memorized one pattern. Let's talk about why this works so consistently, because the mechanism matters more than memorizing the vocabulary. Markets move on liquidity, not on opinions. For a large buyer to get filled, there has to be a large seller on the other side. And for a large seller to get filled, there has to be a large buyer. Institutions don't get that liquidity from other institutions most of the time because everyone with size is trying to do the same thing at the same time, quietly. They get it from retail order flow, specifically from the 2 things retail traders do in bulk and in predictable locations: stop losses and breakout entries. Every obvious support level has a cluster of stop losses sitting just beneath it. Every obvious resistance level has a cluster of stop losses sitting just above it, along with a cluster of breakout buy orders. Those clusters are, functionally, pools of liquidity sitting out in the open, visible to anyone with access to order flow data. And institutions are, in the most literal sense, fishing in exactly those pools. Here's a mistake almost everyone makes even after they've learned everything I just explained, and I want to head it off directly. They see one sharp breakdown, assume it's automatically a spring, and buy immediately, without waiting for confirmation. Not every fake-looking breakdown is a spring. Sometimes a breakdown is just a breakdown, and price keeps falling. The difference between a real spring and a genuine trend continuation lower comes down to three things you have to check together, not in isolation. First, context. A spring only happens after a defined trading range has already formed over multiple days or weeks, not on the very first pullback in a fresh downtrend. If there's no established range behind it, you're not looking at a spring, you're looking at ordinary continuation. Second, speed of recovery. A real spring reclaims the range within 1 to 3 candles on the time frame you're watching. If price stays below the range for many candles before attempting to recover, that hesitation itself is information, and it's telling you sellers are still in control. Third, volume shape. The breakdown candle and the reclaim candle both need volume, and ideally the reclaim volume should match or exceed the breakdown volume. A breakdown on huge volume followed by a weak, low-volume drift back up is not a confirmed spring. It's a warning sign that buyers showing up are thin and unconvincing. Let's turn this into an actual playbook you can use starting with your very next trade. Step 1. Stop placing your stop loss at the most obvious level on the chart. If you can identify it in 2 seconds by eye, so can every algorithm scanning the order book. And that's precisely where the cluster will form. Give your stop a little extra room below the real structural low, not the obvious round number everyone else is using. Step 2. When you spot a sharp breakdown below a defined range followed by an equally sharp reclaim within a few candles, don't panic sell into that move. Treat it as a potential setup and immediately check the volume signature I just walked you through before acting on it. Step 3. Use the high of the range, the automatic rally high in an accumulation setup, as your first profit target and your confirmation level. A strong close above it, on rising volume, is your green light that markup has actually started, not just a temporary bounce. Step 4. Apply the same logic in reverse when a stock has been running hard and euphoria is peaking. Watch for a sharp breakout above the recent high that fails to hold, an upthrust, because that's frequently the exact moment smart money is completing distribution into the very buyers who think they're getting in early. Step 5, and this is the one that matters most long-term. Before you enter any single trade, ask yourself one question out loud if you have to. If I'm wrong here, who's on the other side of this trade profiting from my stop loss? And is my stop sitting exactly where they'd expect it to be? That single habit, ask consistently, will change your entry and exit placement more than any indicator you could add to your chart. I want to leave you with the idea that actually matters more than any single pattern I just taught you, because patterns come and go, market structure evolves, and no single setup works forever. The market isn't rigged against you because it's unfair. It's rigged against you because your behavior is predictable. And predictable behavior is the only raw material a market maker or an institutional desk actually needs to profit consistently. Every stop loss placed at an obvious level, every buy order triggered by a euphoric breakout, every panic sell triggered by a scary-looking red candle, all of that is data, and data that repeats becomes exploitable. The moment you stop behaving the way the crowd behaves is the moment you stop being the liquidity someone else is fishing for, and you start being the one reading the water instead. If this changed how you're going to look at your next range-bound chart, subscribe, because next time we're going even deeper into reading order flow directly, the actual bid and ask data underneath the candles, which is the tool professional desks use to see accumulation and distribution happening in real time, instead of reconstructing it after the fact the way we just did today. This video is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Trading and investing carry substantial risk of loss, and no pattern, framework, or strategy guarantees future results.